Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast review edition. I'm one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friends. I'm going to start with the guy with the pink headphones, Chubax.
Hello, Happy New Year. This is Chubax, or as you can call me, Daddy. Big Daddy.
Or
Daddy.
Chubax.
Daddy.
Our
It's a new
other
year.
best it's a
Whew.
new year.
Something will be
Our
better.
other bestest best friend and also one of our hosts in a bunch of our podcasts. We also have here RJ.
Hello, guys. Happy New Year. Cheers.
Oh, nice.
Hey, cheers. Cheers.
Yay.
If you are new to this channel, this show is about us diving deep into a couple of the streaming TV shows or movies that we have seen all throughout the week so that we could provide you with our opinions on how to watch it, when to watch it, who to watch it with. And discuss all the finer points of these cool new content that is dropping week on week in all of the channels that we get a lot of content. Plus 63 HP is our network of shows where we have a review show every Tuesdays coming out noon Philippine time. Wednesdays we record and publish our very first D&D campaign. So that is also fun. And also coming out on noon Philippine time and midnight Eastern Standard Time. And on Thursdays, our reacts episodes drop. So we look at and react to all the coolest short form content and trailers about shows, movies, books, video games that are coming in down the pipe so we can all be hyped about all of those. You can watch all of these in YouTube. Just search plus 63 HP in the search bar and hopefully you find us, hit like, subscribe, that notification bell so you know when our shows drop. You can also tweet at us or interact with us over Instagram. The handle is at plus 63HP. If you don't want to see all of our amazingly handsome faces or RJ's amazingly handsome face, you can listen to all of our shows in any of your podcasting app of choice. We are probably in every single one of them. Just search plus 63HP. Next week, if you want to join in the discussion of this show, our review show, we will be discussing the second episode of the Book of Boba Fett that comes out every Wednesday in Disney Plus, and more of The Witcher. We will probably have a movie of the week to discuss then, and we'll let you know over our social media channels once we do find out. But this week, it's very exciting. We have a new week on week show that we are going to discuss. We finished Hawkeye and The Wheel of Time in the past week. Replaced dropped a couple of days ago. We're going to discuss. Also going to discuss the series on Netflix, the second season of The Witcher, and our movie of the week from Netflix. Controversial, very fun, comedic, almost documentary like is Don't Look Up by
Was
Adam
not fun
McKay, a
for
bevy
me.
of very it has a bevy of A-list actors that are in the show in the movie, so we
Every
can
actor
discuss
was
for that.
freaking A-list.
Every big actor is there. It's
That is
and
true.
musician. It's amazingly great. So, housekeeping done. Before we go to the shows, Happy New Year, boys. Let's start off with what has been your favorite review episode or thing that we review the past. We've been doing this for almost 9 months now,
Can you
or
believe it?
seven, eight, 7, 9 months. So I think at least this show was splintered off during the summer around June. So we have 6 months worth of at least just review shows. From those, any particular show movie that is your favorite? Let's start with you, RJ.
All right. Definitely Prisoners of the Ghost Man falls in my Worst.
Your highlights?
My low lights, the lowest of all lights in all the podcasts we've done. I mean, I'm sorry, Nicolas Cage. I know you're really doing your best to make every film count, but that was just really sad. Surprisingly, one of the most memorable ones, which I feel was because it's executed in a different manner that hasn't really been very popular, was Arcane.
Mm,
Reason why I liked
okay.
Arcane was it really kept us going. The way they delivered it was in batches, so there were three batches all in all. It was spaced just more or less just right. Of course, we still binge watched every batch that came out, making us wanting the next batch to come out. But the art, the execution, the soundtrack, the voice actors, everything for me made sense. The story was also serious. It's not a cartoon that kids would actually just enjoy. It's really meant for our age. I mean, at least the more mature watchers. Um, and that's something that I actually am tempted to rewatch again and again.
Nice.
How about you, Chubax?
Low lights. Yeah, Ghostland. Kind of became a highlight because it was just so funny. A review of it. So the
It
movie
is,
was a
but
low light, but the review itself was a highlight. And then yeah, Arcane too. I loved Arcane. Though for some
Arcane was
reason
awesome.
Hawkeye just took over everything. It was just so fun for
Mm,
me. I mean,
true.
if I rate everything, Arcane will be the top, but Hawkeye was just my kind of show. Something that I loved and I enjoyed, and something I enjoyed with the family too. So that was another thing because the kids couldn't
I,
watch Arcane yet.
true.
mm,
But I think Hawkeye also fit this season. It came out during Christmas, and it's somewhat about Christmas, so
mhm.
it was perfect to come out at this season.
Yes, definitely. So yeah,
Mm.
that's I like the one shots too, the all too well discussion with Ate Consi.
Mhm. Yeah, I was,
That was
yeah,
another good one. How
yeah.
about
I
you, Jong?
think that was, yeah, that was. I was gonna say. I know it's like a combination of reacts as well as review, but the all too well episode that we did with Ate Consti is kind of definitely my favorite. Not only because I mean I didn't even think a year ago that we are going to make a podcast. Let alone my sister is going to join and enjoy. Looking at the stats too, that was one of our most interacted to and watched episodes. That was extremely fun. So that's definitely my top one react slash review episode. But a close second was our discussion of Red Notice, because I remember
Oh,
like all of us had like
that's a
different
surprise.
angles. Yeah, different. I mean, I love the movies where all of us see it extremely different. Like somebody like, oh, it's
Mm.
great. Oh, it's mediocre. It's like, oh, this is extremely disappointing for 175 million or 200 million dollar movie. And then it's kind of like comparing it to like that was the episode where or the episode after too was Army of Thieves, kind of like that. Some movies that are extremely high budgeted and glossy and fun compared to Green Knight, like
Mhm.
$15 million, but looks like way more polished. So, finding movies like those that I wouldn't normally watch, or I would watch unattentively and not think about it,
Mm.
is kind of like fun. But again, it's I still kind of think like, wow, we made a podcast with my sister and it was fun. It was something that I have no idea about. Like I didn't know what the Taylor's cut version meant, but that was a very very fun discussion. So yeah, look at that. Happy New Year, and here's to more episodes to come.
And more followers, please like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. uh with that, we're gonna dive into a couple of the shows that we've seen throughout this week. We have Book of Boba Fett, The Witcher, and Don't Look Up as our movie of the week. But before that, let's start off with, RJ. Yeah, you weren't in our last episode. We discussed Wheel of Time and Hawkeye. Their finales, like Chubax and I had our positives and negatives about it. But what's your short take about the Wheel of Time, particularly because you're the one who's not familiar with the books? Like Chubax and I, like I'm reading through it. Chubax has read through it.
Mhm.
Like I'm on book 5 now. So, what is
Nice.
your Wheel of Time take?
I was honestly disappointed for the last episode, for the finale. I didn't expect that it would be. There were a lot of holes. I mean, for example, the last battle, the preparation for it was pretty cool. I liked how the kingdom was, dedicating their lives to defend. They're like the last line of defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
But while the brother or the king, emperor, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
was out there fighting at the front lines, bowing off every single Trolloc, eventually getting stabbed. I'm not sure if he dies. His sister, along with some
I
inexperienced
see that.
women. Well, the sister's not really Aes Sedai in the series. I think
She's not.
she passed to be one,
She
but
didn't.
she
She
is not an
barely.
Aes
Yeah.
Sedai.
Like
She barely passed.
borderline. Yeah.
Correct.
Mm.
So with her, and other attuned women, but not really trained. I think there
Yeah.
were 5 or 6 of
None
them.
of them were Aes Sedai.
Mm.
Okay, so one were
I
Aes
think there were a
Sedai,
total of 5. Yeah.
but still 5. One Aes Sedai, one barely Aes Sedai, 2 just touching the tips of it, meaning Nynaeve and Egwene. Eventually unleashed this massive AOE attack that destroys everything, every 6,000 Trollocs out with how many fades?
That were
And I'm like
10, I
thinking,
guess.
I was like thinking, why didn't you put them in the front lines?
I think that you could kind of excuse that, maybe saying that
Out
that
of
was
desperation.
no, that was only done that was a surprise to Amalisa, I think is the princess, the sister,
Mm,
because
the
she didn't know
princess.
how strong
Yeah.
Nynaeve and Egwene were. So when she drew upon
True.
that power, she was shocked that she had that much power. She still
Mm.
still died, even
Mhm.
of like all of them died except almost died except Egwene. So it's like they didn't know that she didn't know that she could have done that. Not that her brother would have let her. The brother wouldn't have given her the chance anyway to have done that,
True.
because for
I
him it's his
guess. I
job.
guess.
So it's flimsy excuse, but it's still within the realm of excuses that could work.
Yeah. But that was in the book, right? Chubax? I don't
No,
remember
nope,
this,
nope.
like, or I
Oh,
don't
this
even
wasn't in the
remember.
book.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even remember if the brother died or
no,
there's a battle at the pass. So
nope. There was not. I don't. Even if there was, it was just like a skirmish.
I remember like
Yeah.
just a
Okay.
little portal, right?
Yeah, and to let you know, RJ, in the book, all of them went to the Eye of the World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was no
Through the
prophecy about
branches.
there was no prophecy about those who weren't Dragon Reborn would die if
Will
they went
We'll
to the
die.
be
Eye of the World.
dying. Yeah, we'll be dead. Yeah.
So the three boys, the two girls, Moraine, Lan, and I think Loyal was also there. The Eye of the
Mhm.
World. That's what happened. Not
Uh,
this one was
another.
really.
An-
This one was really,
Hmm.
they really diverge here with the tease of Loyal dying, which I don't think he's dead.
Yeah.
I don't
And
think so.
yeah, and Nynaeve almost dying just to bring her back. And Matt, I think
Just to
Matt,
show how Egwene,
yeah, I think
right?
Matt was. I think they were forced to do that with Matt because I think he fucked up somewhere. The actor, that's why they replaced him. So maybe I think his
Ah,
story.
that's why.
I think his storyline was more forced than
Mhm.
creative decision. Because
Mm.
if that was a creative decision, they would have given him some lines, right? You know,
Mm.
something, some shots, some words. But this one was just like a recut of a scene,
Yeah,
or maybe
him walking to Shadar
yeah,
Logath was
or
kind of like a
maybe yeah,
reused
or like
footage.
a cut that wasn't used before, like another version. So
Mm.
it's definitely because of that guy. I think he fucked up somewhere, or maybe he pissed off the director or something.
It's sad though. I do like the actor. I think he
He
Good
did
was
good.
actor.
Yeah,
the
he did
right.
great. He was doing great.
He did the he did the right amount of smug, which I
Yeah.
think fit the character.
And in the book, Moiraine wasn't stilled.
Yeah, that was the thing. It's like,
That's the
how are
big
they going
difference.
to work around there?
Okay. Yeah, because in this last episode, she lost her ability to touch
Yeah, that's the
The
term. She was
one.
the one
stilled.
power.
Mm. Yeah. Just
Mm.
that thing that we discussed last week was that's a pretty big change from the book. And then Moraine has always been like the cool, not necessarily the most powerful, but she was definitely a badass. But till now, like I'm on book 5, she's still a badass. But here, season 1, maybe in this version of Wheel of Time, they can find something to unstill her, or maybe that's one of the things that Rand will you know figure out. He'll know how to unlock the one power again to the most, to the closed off people. So that will prove to him to be the dragon, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I guess. But there's one more thing that I noticed. The sister who eventually died, the sister who absorbed all the power, who unleashed all that power, rather,
Mm-hmm.
burnt up herself, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at her, she was actually not in pain, but more of like in ecstasy. That
Yeah, she was like she
so
was
much
high.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess
touching the source is
touching the source.
is
Yeah.
very much like that's why I even in the books and part of the movie. So it's like in the people that uh you know being able to control how much you touch the one true power is very important, because yeah, you can burn yourself
It
up
can be
if you're,
corrupted.
yeah,
Okay.
or if
Yeah,
there's
but
just like it's
for me overall, I still felt disappointed. There were some areas that were like Perrin wasn't given so much airtime. Okay,
Yeah.
suddenly there's someone stabbed Igual, and what's the name of the Padan Fane makes his
Yeah.
pattern thing.
appearance. Apparently it's not done yet. Yes, true enough. Moraine said that it's not the end. It's just the first battle and there's more to come. So I hope that season 2 comes faster so that it answers a lot of my questions. If not, I guess reading the book might not be necessary because it seems like they're taking a different path from the books.
Very
Well,
much, very
they're still
much.
setting up some of the book 2 stuff, but we just don't know how much they're gonna diverge. So we'll
I
see.
suppose.
I'm kind of excited because there's no way they're gonna do the books.
All,
I
yeah.
mean,
True.
not even all the books. I'm just saying they're not gonna be able to copy what the book is into film. So I think if they diverge enough, they can just do their own shit, and I'll just enjoy that ride. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't think they can
That's
do.
true.
I don't think they can. There's too many epic fights and stuff in the books that. And I don't if they follow the books, it's gonna be like Game of Thrones. There's gonna be so many settings. It's just gonna
So
get
many
drowned. Yeah, so just
houses.
gonna be drowned out.
Too
Too
many
many houses.
seasons.
I'd be
Okay.
happy to just stick to these guys and then make it more simple. At least we have a version of it. So as long as it's done well, as bit well acted, well written, it'll suffice. But still,
True.
but it was overall for me. The season was still better than I expected, and I think the reason why we're disappointed in the landing is because they did get that feel at the start that it drew us in that this is well done, and then they just didn't land it as good as they started. So hopefully season 2 will give us better stuff.
Mm.
So is this supposed to be like the end of book 1? Does it
Yes,
cover the entire
yes,
book one?
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
He just
a bunch of changes, but yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I imagine.
A
All
lot
right.
of a lot of cuts too, but
I still look forward to this to the series, though. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
So we'll still have it on
Um,
the lineup.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, that is our final nail on the coffin on the Wheel of Time season one. Yeah, I think we're pretty much all the same. Like I was, the season was a mess, but it was
Mhm.
still good enough, or exciting enough to and for me, I'm still looking forward to season two. Rosamund Pike still rocks. So
Of course.
hopefully a lot of the effects and the prosthetics and the costume was gets a little bit more fine-tuned on season two. So hopefully that comes sooner than later. I'm excited because like we still have a couple of very important characters that hasn't been introduced. So I'm excited to meet Elaine.
I know.
She's gonna be great. And all of the ladies that have sticks, or whatever they called. Yeah, I'm excited to those bad additional badass women. Right, we're moving along. Our first main topic of discussion today is the very first episode of the Book of Boba Fett.
Boba
So
Fett.
it is again Boba Fett. I'm assuming if you're listening to this podcast, you know who he is. But for the three people that have not seen any Star Wars thing in their entire lives, one, why are you listening to this podcast? But two, go watch, pause this, go to Disney Plus,
You have a
watch
lot of shit to
uh
catch up on.
watch like nine
Yes.
movies.
Yeah.
You watch the Clone Wars and all of their
Couple
series, but
series.
yeah, but again, Boba Fett is one of the, again, weirdly, my concern about the Book of Boba Fett is he's always been this mysterious, cool character that that always that's only popped in here and there, with a very very cool ship that is supposed to be a very cool assassin, and now he is going to have his own show devoted to him. So hopefully he also is a good main character. So I'll punt this to you, Chubax. Like, give us like a 30-second summary of episode one and what you thought about the episode.
So quick recap. At the end of Mandalorian season 2, Boba Fett takes over Bib Fortuna. Well, previously Jabba the Hutt's
Mhm.
area of control. So Jabba the Hutt was like a mob boss. I don't know how big his control is before,
Exactly.
but I
That.
think I
Yeah.
think in episode 1 it was the whole planet, or I don't know, it was just like an area
At
in
least the
Tatooine.
city.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
least the
Yeah.
city. So when he died, it was assumed that Bib Fortuna took over. And in the end of Mandalorian, Boba Fett, who resurrected or was alive eventually, took over, killed Bib Fortuna and took over. So that's where we start. The episode is a short but sweet, where it's two timelines. One is we catch up with Boba Fett, how he didn't die from the Sarlacc pit, and how he survived, and that timeline of him, the short time period from getting out of the Sarlacc to
Mhm.
what happened to him, and then the current timeline where he's assumed control of the Jabba's area, and he's trying to learn the ropes as a boss with Fennec, his trusty master
Hmm.
assassin. I love that, master
Mhm.
assassin. She's not
Master
an
Master
assassin.
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 She's a
Just
master
master
assassin.
assassin.
So and the Fennec is the typical he owes her life to Boba Fett because he saved her when Mando left her for dead. So she's like this loyal, honest subject. She's telling him that easiest way is to rule by fear. It's like Jabba. That's the simplest
Mhm.
way. That's what everybody
Mhm.
knows. That's what they follow. And Boba Fett's trying to rule with respect, as he said from his mouth. And that's basically episode 1. Oh,
Mhm.
as he got out of the Sarlacc pit, he's hurt and injured, and Jawa stripped his armor. So that's, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
how he lost it. And then he's captured by the Tuscan Raiders. And then there's where he has an adventure where I think it's
He
making
was
it look
put to
like that.
work.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's making it look like that he's earning their trust.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when he returns in Mando episode 1, he looks like a Tuscan Raider, or he has, weapons of a Tuscan Raider, and how he survives. So it's assumed that for now that's where he stayed for the last few decades, or whatever the timeline is, since the Sarlacc pit to now, to Mando.
Mm-hmm.
He was with the Tuscan Raiders. So let's see how it goes. But for me, it was short. It was they didn't really go too much anywhere yet, but I
Uh-huh.
loved it because it was all foundation. It was all, let's take it slow. Let's breathe first.
Mm-hmm.
This is what's happening. This is the
It's 6
flashback.
episodes, right?
7, I think.
7. Okay.
7. So this is
Right.
where it's going. This is how it's gonna start. Everything. It wasn't as strong as like a Mando episode. It was Mando's episode was more, for me, was more complete. Like there was a through line in the first episode. This one was more serialized. If like
Mm-hmm.
there's gonna be something next. It's not like a episode of the week. So I think it's gonna ramp up, and it's looking like it's gonna be good or great. So I'm excited. I love everything about it. The fight scene, uh the effects, the costumes were lit. Boba Fett looked badass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging the two
The
Gamorreans.
Gormorian.
Gamorreans,
Gamora.
yeah. I was like, they better give them names. If they die right now, I'm gonna be pissed. I always love those loyal soldiers. I hope they get more airtime. And Boba Fett, looks like he's gonna give it to them. So hopefully we can get it. And of course, Fennec is awesome. And yeah, I can't wait for Wednesday. I think is it Wednesday? It's
Every
Wednesday, right?
Wednesday. Yeah, every
Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
So
Every Wednesday.
how about you, Jong?
I like the episode. Actually, I appreciate that they are answering all of the foundational questions first. Like, everybody's like, how did Boba Fett survive the
Mm.
Sarlacc pit? So it
Yeah,
was very,
they could have teased it, like they didn't show it again,
yeah,
and everybody was like, we've been teased enough, it's been like
yeah,
it's so
exactly. They could have
decadent.
like done bits and pieces of the story all throughout the season. I'd rather just like, all right, this is the
Get it
entire,
out of the way.
this is what happened. He punched through the hole, he crawled
Burned
out.
it
There
from
were
the
other,
inside.
it was great. And then I again, like what you mentioned, the being able to survive the desert, being stripped of his armor. That's how he lost his armor, and it went to, what's his name, Timothy Oliphant,
Uh-huh.
his the
Cobb.
marshal. Yeah, so he was that's how he got it from the Jawas. uh I like how he was a badass in being a prisoner of the Tuscan Raiders, and being put to work to look for water, and then killing a monster just with his chains was the way that he got the respect of the Tuscan Raiders. So I'm
Oh,
pretty sure there's
and
going to be more about it.
sorry to interrupt. I just like the visual choice on the Tuscan Raiders, where they didn't even subtitle their language. It was more just
Mhm.
like, just talking, and then it was more on their costume, how you could understand who was who. So it's interesting. I like it. And
Yeah,
then also
because he didn't understand.
yeah, he didn't understand as well. But also I like
So
the nostalgic tug at the heartstrings of the flashback to episode 1 and 2, with
mhm.
the clone area in the
With
water, and then the flashback
what's
of
That's
his name?
true.
Django Fett's helmet.
yeah.
Django. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, yeah. It
technically
was, I mean,
technically his head was still there.
the I like I like the writing and the pace of it. Like, you show him trying to get tributes from essentially his territory, and then of course it's not going to be clear because we don't know how strong not only what's his name? Not only Jabba the Hutt's control is, but Bib Fortuna's control after that. You don't know how. I
Yeah.
don't. We don't know the reach of control. Who is loyal? Who is not? Who is? It's going to be a messy time trying to
Transition.
gain power of all this, and we're seeing that because the mayor not going to the tribute, the being attacked after visiting one of the restaurants or the diners. I like that too, like a little bit of diner scene. A lot of callbacks in this particular series. um I like that there was an action set piece. I did not like the action at all. I felt that for me, the choreography felt a bit lacking compared to what I've seen with Mando and
Mando.
what we've seen with other things. Um, there was a lot of just like repeating moves and being shocked and not being shocked, and but we did get to see Fennec do her thing, and that's the thing that I like. I like the Gomorians as well. So it's a lot of like plus and minus about this episode. Again, overall, it's still a great introduction to the Boba story. It's no longer the escort mission of Mandalorian. It's
Mm.
very clear that this is a territory grab thing, which is very interesting. I'm very interested in how they're going to make this likable. Like this is not particularly a good thing that he's doing.
He is a mob
Because
boss.
eventually he is a mob boss, so it's not particularly positive for kids watching it. But the idea of we're going to see how he establishes his dominance, through respect. I'm sure he's going to kill a few people here and there, but for the most part, I'm actually that's a very interesting story for me. So very Godfather like. So
Yes.
we'll see how that happens. RJ, about you, what do you think about episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett?
I think it was a good intro wherein I got to understand how he escaped. You're right, by ripping off the gut. I don't know what he took from the stormtrooper, injected it into his helmet. Was that
I think it's,
oxygen
yeah,
or
probably oxygen.
Mhm.
You need to
okay?
breathe.
And then after he had his enough refill, ripped open the gut and started
Flame.
flamethrowing from inside, obviously killing that thing. Sure, he was dehydrated, he was hurt, he was beaten up, allowing
Probably
Jawas to
partially
kind of
digested
But
also.
actually,
possibly.
That's why
I
the
would
scar,
suppose, yeah,
he had
because
scars. And
the scarring in the head, yeah, that's right. When the Jawas removed the helmet, possibly seemed like he was burnt in a lot of places. Um, I agree with Jong on this on the fact wherein I don't think he really showed his action. Boba Fett wasn't as badass in terms of a assassin grade moves that parang wala eh. With the sand people, he was beat up, but I suppose that was their main warrior.
yeah, and he didn't have
When he
his, he
killed
was
that
tired
and
and
mm.
didn't have
And he
water,
was
perhaps, yeah.
what's that? He was still going to his pod, so he's still healing. I'm assuming.
I guess. And then he got to kill that six-armed, or I don't know, four-armed, six-armed, eight-legged lizard-like thing. But it didn't seem like. I think he just got lucky because it was distracted and then jumped on top and started choking it. Um, I wish action would be more, but I like that when he was asked by what's the name of the master assassin?
Fennec.
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 Yeah. Well, fear, ruling by fear works. And he goes like, yeah, but Java might have ruled by fear, but I want to rule by respect. So he's not gonna allow himself to be carried onto that
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot that part. Oh, I
that
didn't see your
pedestal.
litter. I
Yeah.
walk with my
Oh,
own 2 feet.
yeah, exactly. Which I think really coincides with his wish to rule by with respect because he really physically goes there um, by himself. But yes, after a power struggles change, there will be people who are um going to be against it. But I would have sent a very strong message to that Twi'lek, to the mayor that rejected to give him tribute, and in fact asked tribute from him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was too merciful. I would have like, oh no, just let him go, but kill the mayor. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, one thing I want to
don't
find
know.
out is what's his motivation. Why does he want to be
Yeah,
a mob boss?
the
You know what I
the
mean?
crime boss. Yeah,
Yeah, I know he has honor because
Uh,
that's what he goes by. I think even in the Star Wars books, that's like what they made him become. Like he's a bounty hunter, but he's honorable, so he goes by that code of honor. I just don't know why he would want to be the mob boss with all the stress that it provides. So
that's true. It's not that he needed it.
yeah.
No, he
Yeah,
has
but
been off world for a very, very long time. So we'll see. I'm also excited. Like it seems like he has some enhancements in his suit because I never noticed the orange shoulder pads in his armor. So we'll see about. I'm excited about all of
but
the upgrades, updates on him too.
huh. But after getting hit for a while, in those volley of shields, he had to like rush back
Yeah, I know
into
what
his
is
pod.
that's
And
if there's a negative thing, I don't like how
That's what I was
he's
saying. I think he's still because he starts the episode in that bay and he was brought back to that bay again. So I think he's still recovering. Like
I
he's
hope
still
it's like
being
that.
healed.
I hope it's something that he can get out of and
yeah,
it's not like a constant thing where
Mhm.
he has a weakness. Because he was so
mm,
badass in Mando. Remember that episode where he kicked like 30 stormtroopers ass?
that's
The
Yeah,
right.
one
that's the thing too. It's like, well, that was just for one. You didn't notice being ambushed. I thought you were a master assassin. Both of you are master assassins, and there was only what
Exactly.
6 people with shields and not even guns, and you
Not even
kind of got
guns.
yeah
Yeah.
got kind of gotten beaten up. So I think it's more of either hopefully they make something cool out of it, like they meant to be caught so that they can
they,
torture
they were
one of the
they were
prisoners.
springing the traps of everybody to see
Yeah,
who's who on whose side more
Mm,
easily now. Yeah, it could be. Because
yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna be badass because this is Robert Rodriguez who's doing this. He's the one that directed the episode of
mhm.
Mando where Boba Fett was badass, and it was his ideas that
Okay.
he was the one that made that scene, the action scene where he was kicking every stormtrooper's ass. So I'm sure they're saving shit up. We'll see.
Let's
I
see. All
personally,
right.
I was not one of the taken fans of Boba Fett from episode
Mm-hmm.
5 and 6. I'm only the convert from the Mando. I was because for some reason he has like such a huge following from those short scenes in episode 5 and 4 and 5, or
Exactly. And again, if you really
like
think about it, I
he
think
didn't
it
do
was just like
shit.
he's yeah, exactly. He well essentially kind of died
Five and
You
right.
six,
did.
five and
Yeah.
six,
And
yeah,
even there's actually a meme that I was watching about episode 1 because technically, Palpatine wanted Padme dead, right?
Mm.
And but Palpatine hired
Django episode two,
Django. Yeah,
Django,
yeah. Palpatine hired Django. Django hired another assassin.
yeah.
Another assassin used a fucking insect to. So like, come on, like
Yeah.
well, I think it's the case the epitome of cool in the 80s and the 70s where it's mysterious, and if you really think about it, kind of like you kind of fell into a pit and you actually never really caught the person that you were bounty hunting, for
Yeah,
but ever
Vader
since then.
caught Han Solo in 5
I was gonna say,
for him.
right? But yeah, I mean, I think the good thing about the Feloniverse is they're recontextualizing, adding more, reasons why we should care for these characters. Again, it's a first episode. Yeah, before we close it out, any last thoughts? Because I want to a rant, like rate this out of 10, episode one. So let's start with you, Jay. Like final thoughts about episode one and your rating.
With a lack of action, but good explanation of their story. I'm still looking forward to episode two, and my rating here would be so far, uh, somewhat at a seven,
Okay.
seven, or yeah, around the seven, 6.5 to seven. I wasn't totally wowed by episode one, but I like the Star Wars universe. Obviously, Boba Fett and Jango Fett, the Mandalorian and Boba are basically very iconic characters in Star Wars, despite the limited screen time. Um, let's see what the story will evolve around from here on. How about
Chubax?
you, Chewy?
I'll go maybe 7.58. It was definitely a slow one, but it was sweet, and like we talked about a while ago, they didn't bullshit us.
Mhm.
We've been waiting for this. Here it is. Let's just get it out of the way, move it, and I like that they're giving heart to it. I just hope like those Tuscan Raiders that if he does fall in with them, doesn't all die tragically.
That's my
That's why he
prediction.
left. I know that's
He
what.
killed he well, I think he does yeah, he does an Anakin and kills all of them.
Oh, I doubt it. He didn't even. He could have killed the kid already from the start. He did. So that alone makes it better. How about you, Jong?
I'm right with you. I'm at a 7.5. And the only reason about the relatively low score, because again, I'm very high on the episode. I like the foundation. I like the seeds of the story. It was
The
paced
outlook,
well.
the potential is there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like hey, give in one episode we got what happened to him, his parts of his origin story, and his intent, which is I like, right? It's clear, it's very it's easy to understand whether you know anything about Star Wars universe or just the Django, the Boba character. I think the thing that really just like pulled a lot out of the episodes is the fight choreography. That's something that was I thought, you know the pedigree of Mandalorian, where every single action set piece was. I mean, I've again every single episode of the Mandalorian of in the two seasons that they ran, all of their action set pieces were not only pushing the story forward, but done in a way that it's not overreaching. It's just it's perfect for that particular scene.
It's
They didn't
always
have
unique
to.
too.
Yeah. And it wasn't like it's not about it's not just about the choreography or just about the effects. It's always a combination of both. Like they understood that this is a TV show. They can't have like hundreds of stormtroopers shooting at each other and flying around, but they're gonna show them a little bit of Mandalorians flying, a little bit of stormtroopers, being killed, and then a little bit of action. Not so much that you'll really see the holes. And I think this is the first, being the first episode too. I would have expected that that would have been a very very polished version, but that was pretty much it. I again, unfortunately, like we're this is we're hooked on this. We're gonna watch this. Like we've been conditioned to watch this for the past 30 years. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of this episode. Cool. That's it for the first episode of Boba Fett. The next segment of our episode is discussing the first three episode, or the first part, the first foray into our experience with The Witcher season two. So with that, let's start with this. Uh, Jay, how many episodes have you seen so far, and what do you think about the series a little bit? And then we'll pepper the plot because, like this is one of those series that I binged it, but a lot of people might do it one per week or two per week. So we'll try to put the spoilers to a minimum. But for those who have not, who wants to watch the season fresh, spoiler alert. Our episodes are timestamps. You can just like move it along forward. But Jay, how far along are you in The Witcher?
I finished it. I think I binged it within 2 or 3 days.
Slow down, guys.
Um,
We need content. We need content.
no, I know, but it was. I found it really good. It answered a lot of questions that I had when I was playing the game, Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt. I won't say anything, but this season 2 helped answer a number of the questions I had
From the
about the
game?
game.
Oh.
Yeah, because when I played the game, I didn't play Witcher 2. I didn't play the original Witcher, which was I think back in uh, computer PC. I only played Witcher 3, and I've actually played it 3 times. The run through. But still, there were a lot of questions about the Wild Hunt. There were a lot of questions about Siri, and I feel that this season 2 answers a lot of that. It helps build the story towards it. Now I'm excited. How about you, Chewy? What do you think
Chubax.
about it?
I've seen 3.5 episodes because I'm trying to save it. So I always try to stop myself, but I'm loving it. I have some nitpicks, but not more on. Later we'll discuss when it comes to the story. But yes, still one of my favorite series. So yeah, I'm excited to finish it. I love it. I'm already sad when it's gonna be over because it's just
Mm.
like 8 episodes. I'm crushing on Freya Allen. She's so pretty.
Oh my god.
Right? Her eyes
Oh, oh
piercing.
my God. She
Uh,
is again. I'm glad that
How
she's
old is
20.
she?
20.
She's 20 in
I
real
checked.
life.
I
Okay.
checked.
All right.
uh, I don't want to go to
I was
jail.
worried. I
Uh,
know. FBI.
Henry Cavill's awesome, of course. And
Start with the T.
surprisingly, I know one of my complaints on the season one was because I had a big crush on Triss from the game, the redhead
Oh yeah.
Triss
Oh,
in the game,
but
right?
she wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and in the first one, she wasn't like hot. I mean, she's pretty, but she's not hot. And then it's the same actress here, but she's prettier here now. And this is funny because she's supposed to be scarred, right, all over.
Mm.
Mm.
Not that we see it in the first 3 episodes, but I don't know what they do, but she's prettier here. So
That
yeah.
Netflix money coming in now. Those
I'm
royalties
sorry.
coming in.
I'm
It's,
sorry, but she's still not as pretty as the Triss
oh,
in the
of
game.
course, of course. But spoil me if you can for Siri. Do they cut her hair?
No, well, no.
Oh
No,
no, no,
no.
No.
they don't.
I want to see the bob cut
No.
hair, but from the game. Hopefully next
Hmm.
season. You Jong, how did stick to first
Again,
three? The first three.
I even before we were going to put it paced out, I couldn't stop. This is I saw it in one sitting. Um, one big because like I love I love the first season, and then from the things that I've been seeing about or when it was being made, they were saying that uh, they were going to simplify a lot of the storylines. They're going to make it linear, unlike season one that had multiple timelines converging that confused some viewers, including me.
Hmm.
This season two was be it's like it'll be a little bit more video game like. It's more of like a linear campaign, which for
Hmm.
me was great. It made particularly in the first few episodes, and I'm concentrating my review in the first couple of episodes is being able to reset what had happened in the previous season, that war, so that the factions were very clear, like there's the northern kingdoms versus like at Sodom, and then there's the witchers at Kaer Morhen, what they're going to do with Siri, why Siri is important, and the elves, it's towards the latter part of the season, the elves become that camp, that faction becomes more and more. So being able to put a base like, all right, these are different groups, right? And every group has a certain angle on what why they're doing. That made me want to watch the episode more and more. And secondarily, like, even I think that, if I'm not mistaken, on episode 2 or 3, when they when Geralt and Siri visit Geralt's old friend that looked like a boar. Or that, maybe that's
Episode one.
episode 1, I
Episode
forget.
one. Episode
So
one.
that hooked me because, when I was watching this too as we were watching Wheel of Time. The
Mm.
way that they did the prosthetics of the boar was
Really
amazing,
good.
and the effect really,
To
really
be
good.
honest, I
And
didn't.
that
If you didn't mention it, it wouldn't have gone to my mind that it was prosthetic. Or like it just looked natural to me. So
all the monsters and all the CGI were great. Like, granted, they were not perfect. There were flaws that you could see here and there, but the
Sure.
action and the way that they used the monsters and the effects did not take me away from the world. So it looked native to the world, and that was the one that kind of like really, really had me engrossed, because um people are estimating that the budget of this Witcher is comparable to the budget of a lot of other shows like Wheel of Time and whatnot. But you can really see how different production companies just have a little bit more care. And this one, watching it side by side, Wheel of Time, is just way more cinematic. Like, this looks like a very long movie
the
versus
colors are a
Wheel
lot
of
better.
Time that,
Lighting.
yeah, yeah. So and but the thing is, like, it's weird because the world itself, the environment, is way better in Wheel of Time. It's much more engrossing. Like, those aerial shots of the mountains and the deserts was way better than The Witcher. But you know just The Witcher is kind of great.
I
It
think it's
also doesn't.
more. They were able for such a big world of The Witcher. They were able to focus on just a few characters. It's not
Exactly.
Mm.
overwhelming. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
Yeah.
those sets,
it
it felt intimate, even though
it also helps that majority of the actors that have a lot of screen time in the Witcher are killer actors. Like, I'm amazed how Siri. I That was a concern too, from moving from season 1 to season 2. Now season 2 is a lot more centered around Siri. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think that she was going to be more than just a pretty face. Like, the prettier the face, the harder for me to get past that barrier. But she was great. Like, she was a believable character. Like, I her motivations were very clear. Like, she wasn't the stereotypical damsel slash stereotypical, I'm going to be X, Y, and Z. Like, I'm going to do good and help people. No, like, it was well founded what she wanted to be throughout the season. Of course, Henry Cavill is amazing. That's, says, with that needs no saying. But even the supporting characters that were very hard to kind of follow in the first season, uh it was like, all right, like, Yennefer, I never liked her in the first season, but you know she was a little bit more snarky here, so that was fun. Like,
yeah.
even the
That
supporting characters of
Yeah.
for me, I don't know. I had a big crush on her in the first one, but it's gone now. It's she's. I don't know what happened to her character. I'm 3 episodes in, and I just find her annoying. I don't like that.
What?
I'm not a fan of like for the first season she was trying to get power, and then now it's same thing.
Mm.
Mhm.
And she's just selfish. She does. I mean, Geralt's no Captain America, but he's trying to survive, but he's also trying to kill monsters. That's about it.
Mhm.
For her, it's always about her having power, about her what what about her. So always what she says. What I want or all I have. It's like I don't know. It's just I even like Triss more here, so that says a lot. But going back to the for the first three, the standalone episode, of course, is the first episode. It's just
Mhm.
that's what I love. There's an overall story, but that standalone story about his friend who raped a priest and got cursed, and
Mhm.
then fell
Mm.
in love with the name of the creature in the first one.
Kind of like a vampire thingy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then him letting her have her way because they love each other, and she did really love him too, right? Because it lifted
Mhm.
the curse,
Yes.
and then with it ending with him screaming to Geralt to kill me, and then Geralt's like, "Curse is over.
You're
Just
mortal now.
do it
Do it
yourself."
yourself.
It's just so good. That was just so amazing. And
but that
Siri,
but that relationship kind of worked because he could never die, and the
yeah, yeah.
vampire could
It would
have
have
all the
been
field. But
even as Geralt for me. I think it would have been fine if the vampire wasn't killing the village. It
Yeah,
was
that
just that.
I mean,
yeah,
I think that was
exactly.
the only problem is that he wasn't able to control them to control the vampire for
Yeah,
a bit
if
and then
he was
kill the
feeding on
villagers.
him, only him, that's fine.
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
we
Yeah,
all
that's
have
true.
our kinks, but the village being empty, it's already a sign from Geralt like you don't have a handle on this. You
Mm.
know, and then he with him lying, that's my cardinal sin with friends, best friends. Don't lie. You should have just told him. Not like
Yeah.
Geralt would have judged him. Geralt, as long as you're upfront with him, he's fine with most dark shit. You just don't lie to him. So that was fine. And then, so my nitpick, yeah, is mostly with her in the first 3 episodes was with the end. Um, and just a small nitpick. Was it episode 3 where Siri was two where Siri was goaded to do the obstacle course
Oh, I love
by
to.
Lambert.
That's my favorite
No,
episode.
no,
The first three episodes.
I loved it, but the first thing with the three swinging woods, that's not hard. Come on, man. It was just, the second part was hard with
Time,
the
she's never done it before.
yeah, but dude, it's so slow, man. You just take 2 steps, stop, 2 steps, stop. It's not like it was whoog, whoog, whoog. It was like whoog, whoog. After that was hard with the spinning
The spinning. Yeah.
the stake spinning. That one I
Mhm.
wouldn't have been able to do that to be honest. But that thing, as long as my gut would have fit inside the space, I'll be fine. Because it was just moving so slow. So I don't know why it took her forever to be in that spot.
Balance. She also had the balance.
But the story was great. The Lambert was like
Mm.
started with bullying her, and then she didn't give up. And then by the last part, he was like, "I told you, girl, breathe." It's like cheering him on. That was so awesome. I mean, that's realistic. Like you see somebody not give up, he just tugs at your heart, and he's like, relax, stuff like that. So I just saw so awesome.
That's true.
I haven't
That's
even
true.
seen his friend yet. Yasker, the Yasker.
Dandelion. Yeah,
Dandelion.
Yaskir, the
Yes,
dog.
yes.
Scare. Oh, towards the end. I everybody had a glow up in this season. Everybody got
Yep.
way more buff and way sexier.
And another thing also, I love that. I loved how they played the kingdoms here, because like in the first one, it was more like us versus them, good versus evil, and then here it's like I'm fucking annoyed at Shagobor more than the Nilfgaardians at the first 3 episodes, and there's no good guy bad guy here. It's just I guess War is the evil. War is evil, but you know I'm to Yen's point. I didn't mind her leaving that group because they were also shit. They were even more racist to the elves than the Nilfgaardians. So it's like good for her for at that point. And even I got a few parts of episode four where was it Redania, the other country, starting their play. It's like I like how they did it, and unlike Game of Thrones, it doesn't seem too spread out. It's still intimate. So I like how they're doing that. So yeah, I'm excited for to finish it up.
Yeah, again, my favorite episode is episode 2 because again, I'm a sucker for a training montage. So
And episode two
I
also
kind
is
of love.
the Escal part, right?
Yes.
So that was heartbreaking to that's like I was telling my
Seeing
It
all
my kids
Episode 2 had everything from action to a nice love story to lore about the monsters.
yeah.
So
No, I also like
that was
the
pretty good.
how when they were fighting Eskel, I was telling my like Isabella that it's harder to capture than to kill. That's why they were
Mhm.
having a
Mm-hmm.
hard time fighting him. It's not because he was really strong, but because they were trying to capture him alive because
Oh,
maybe they can help him. Was that I think that's
yeah,
two. I
that's
think that
right.
was two.
Tuba
So
too. Okay.
yeah. The training I think is on the third. Yeah, because it's after
Mm,
Eskel. So
after Eskel, that's right.
yeah, so it was just and then heartbreaking flashback with Geralt and Eskel from the past.
Mm.
That was also
Like training. Oh my god.
I don't know.
Ah.
I love Henry Cavill's acting here. It's like you can feel his pain without him overly emoting. You can feel, you can feel how stressed he is with having a child without overly acting it.
Mm.
It's just like the little sighs, the little held breaths here and there, the small smiles. It's so good. It's so good. I love it. I really hope they can get all through seven seasons.
Well, he's
True.
committed. So I'm trusting Henry.
No,
Jay,
Yeah.
closing
I'm
thought.
not worried about him. I'm more worried about Netflix, pulling the plug at some point.
I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah.
Jay, final thoughts and like favorite part of the first third of
The
this
Witcher.
season.
My favorite part was how Sivi grew up to be a gorgeous lady. I think um not for any um evil thoughts or intents and
Yeah,
purposes. I
right.
was just saying maybe a little bit. Um she acted very, very well. She could act as a princess, and she could also act as a rough witcher. You know what I mean?
To Jong's point, I also like that part where they did forget that she was a princess. So there, because that's ingrained in her
mm,
too. So sometimes it's gonna come out, but that she's also tough and like Jong said, she's not uh she's not the typical I want to do good. She just wants to
mm,
survive. Be strong
Mhm.
and powerful. So sorry, go on, Jay.
mm. No worries, no worries. And I like how Henry Cavill or Geralt was able to do the Witcher signs, or not just the signs, but the power of the skills that a Witcher has.
Pew pew pew.
He has the Ard spell. He has the eventually throughout the season he uses a number of different ones, including the Igni, which is the fire. He has the trapping spell, which is the uh Earden, I think. So and he even calms his horse. Remember when he was with Siri, as they were going to the castle of his friend, they hear the scream of a beast, which apparently was the vampire, and then the horse was starting to Roach was starting
Yeah,
to um like
feel
show resistance, right? Get scared, and then he calms using one of the skills. So it's quite how do you say this, accurate in terms of the game, and that's how you would use it, because even on the game you can calm your horse by using the same spell. So um I liked it so much that we eventually binged it. Not just me, but my wife, even my mom. My 74-year-old
Mhm.
mom is watching Witcher. She's on season 2 as well. She caught up. Season 1
I
done.
think that's more on Henry Cavill.
I wouldn't doubt that. But I liked it. At the end though, I don't know. Spoiler alert! If I can alarm everyone, at the
Let
end
me
of
off.
no, it's not about the story, but at
Oh,
the end
okay.
of the, the season, um, they're starting to introduce another spin-off of Witcher,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I
We saw
think
we saw the
is
trailer last week, me and
yeah,
Joe.
exactly,
It's a
exactly.
prequel though, so that's fine.
So prequel.
And it
That's
has
right.
Michelle Yeoh, so
It
that's definitely
explains
fine.
It's fine.
she
Totally fine.
she's she's everywhere.
I
I'm
love it.
impressed.
I
Michelle
love it.
Yeoh's very active, and I'm looking forward to it. But of course, I'm still excited to follow the storyline of Geralt and Ciri. So, um, same as in season one. I'm not a big fan of Yennefer, unlike Chubax. I didn't find her so pretty because in the game she was hot.
Oh yeah.
So in the game, my first run through, I slept with both Yennefer and Triss, which ended up with a bad ending.
So you didn't get any. Yeah.
So I didn't get any. That's why I replayed the second time. So when I replayed the second time, I just went all Yennefer first, and then the third time
Then
was
it's
all
Ultras.
Triss. Yeah.
Because I played the
So
second game, so I was Triss all the way. Because Yennefer wasn't in the second,
okay.
so I was like, I gotta be Triss. I got it. And then I saw Yennefer when they released the third game. I was like, shit, she's hot too.
Yeah. And I guess one of my nitpicks again, Fringilla was so annoying. I don't know if that's still part of the first three episodes, but I found Fringilla to be very, very annoying.
In the first three episodes, I wasn't because she's more like she believes this is right, so she's doing everything she can. It was Yen that was more annoying for me in the first three at least.
Mm,
So I'll see where it goes going forward.
all right. All right. All right. All right. That's it for me. But
Cool.
I loved it. Loved it.
We'll continue discussing The Witcher next week. Again, it's one of those things. I think we all agree that this is one of those series that everybody could watch, should watch. Like it's
Must
good
watch.
production, good acting, great. You know, if you have any interest in fantasy at all, this is one of those series that it is, I think, like everything that everything that you could trim out of a Game of Thrones like series and add a bit more magic and monsters there. This is the series for you. It's like I hope at some point Wheel of Time get their act together and becomes a little bit more on point and on point with both the production and the storyline like The Witcher.
Mm.
Up next, our last topic for the day, our movie of the week is a Netflix movie, uh, directed by Adam McKay, story by Adam McKay and David Sirota. It's like his writing partner, with a movie budget of $75 million. So again, I think a very modest budget. I think a lot of the budget went to the A-list
Cast.
actors that they got. All right, but I think they maximized every single dollar out of that $75 million budget. It got
Yep.
released on December 5 in the cinemas, but was available on the 19th. Um, on Netflix. So this is one of those movies that you just pop in Netflix. You need to be in a good mood. It's a little bit of a thinker. It's a bit of a satire. So once you know what you're getting into, I think anybody can enjoy. So Don't Look Up, right? Just a few of the many characters that are in the movie. The main two characters are Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. Leo is a scientist. Jennifer Lawrence is a PhD candidate. They are two low-level astronomers that discovered that there is, so Jennifer Lawrence discovered a comet. So when you discover a comet, you get to name it. And Leonardo DiCaprio was the one that calculated its trajectory. Combined, it showed with a 99.7% confidence level that it was going to hit the Earth. It was going to be a extinction level event. They started approaching people like both NASA and the government about this information, and then that venture ensues because the idea is everybody has their own agenda. Some people believed it, some people believed it because of other reasons, and some people did not want to believe it because it might ruin other certain things. So that's kind of like the crux of the entire movie is um, the bureaucracy and the profundity and the stupidity of what types of information we tend to believe and what type of information we want to act act against or act towards. Like they, for some people, the breakup of two musicians is way more interesting and way more popular, way more engaging than the actual end of the world. So just a few more actors and actresses in this movie. Leo and Jennifer had, I think, the most airtime. Meryl Streep plays the president of the United States, kind of like a Donald Trump analog. Jonah Hill plays her son, kind of like a, you know,
Chief of
But
staff.
who is
Donald
also the
Jr.
chief of staff? Yeah.
chief of staff, kind of like a Donald Jr. as well. Um, Timothy Chalamet is there. So call
Yes.
back from Dune, plays the bit of a love interest of Jennifer Lawrence for a very, very hot minute towards the end. Ariana Grande and Kid Cudi are there. They also made the song that is sung towards the end credits. And my favorite cameo among all the cameos here is, of course, Chris Evans. Chris Evans is part of the cast for a
I
little
love
bit
it.
too.
I
So
love it.
it's great. So this is essentially a comedy, but because of the topic of what they are discussing, it becomes dark.
Almost believable.
What do you mean
Again,
almost?
It is
it
absolutely actually.
the tweets after this movie came out was exactly how I would describe it. This is more of a documentary than a movie. A documentary of something that has not happened yet, but can and will definitely happen whenever it comes to that case. So, um, we'll discuss a little bit of. I think this is one of those movies that the plot is something that we can discuss. It's not gonna spoil a lot of it. Um, it's more of just like how humans, how people in this day and age act in this day and age with technology, with all the information, with all the options. And there's still so much information on the bone. Like we're just talking about super broad strokes. We still haven't talked about the very, very interpersonal relationship between like Leo and his wife, with Jennifer Lawrence and her family. There's so many micro stories within this giant story of like an impending catastrophic event that is happening. Um, so with that, I'll start off with just opening the discussion to the group, saying like, all right, what do you think about the movie? Favorite storylines, and then at the end we'll probably rank and provide our own advice when and how people should watch a movie like Don't Look Up. Let's start with you, Chubax.
I'm I'm gonna be short with this because this was really triggering to me. So I'll
Mhm.
start off with this movie is amazing. The
Okay.
story, how it's made, the actors, but it just really pissed me off because it's just a documentary. It's real. This is real. This is how
Mhm.
stupid. This is how stupid we are as a race. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just my mental state right now, but we're fucked. We're fucked. I used to have high hopes for my kids and their future, but we're fucked. I'm just gonna enjoy every minute I have with them because as a human race, we're not gonna get anywhere. So I'm just gonna teach them to enjoy what they can. If they want to fight to be the good guys, they can do that. Just don't forget to enjoy it because, my God, a lot of stupid people in the world, lot of evil people in the world, a lot of selfish people in the world,
Mhm.
a lot
And they're
of
in power.
Mhm.
the information is just I everybody keeps talking about freedom of information, about uh freedom of voice. There's just too many voices now. It's too crazy. It's not doing good. It's not bringing us anywhere. It's not bringing us together. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. So I'm not. I'm just complaining, but I don't know what the answer is. I don't have a solution for you guys. But this was just really triggering to me and my anxiety and like, uh, it's just so real. I love Jennifer Lawrence in it. I love Leo. Uh, I
Leo
like
was fucking. Oh my god, I love
I
Leo
like I
here.
like that the I like that people would think he's he's hot because he is hot. You know what I mean? Like he's a astrologist.
That's
I'd
why he
like
was
to fuck.
perfectly cast.
I know. So
Just trim the beard and everybody's like, hot astronomer. Okay.
I know Kate Blanchett was amazing too. I like that scene with the wife.
He was.
And Timothy Chalamet is awesome in it. For whatever scene, short scene he was in. And like Jennifer Lawrence was just like, every time he asks her a question, she's just like, why not? we're gonna die soon.
We're gonna die anyway.
Fuck
Great.
it. And
Yes.
the leader of Bash was perfectly written and acted. And the end of Man, they were gonna save it, but because of fucking
Oh, the
greed.
post credit scene. I told the best. It was the fucking best. Oh,
Just I don't know. It just no. Even when they already had a mission to save the world, and they aborted because of fucking greed.
Because of
right?
capitalism.
Yes.
It's the
That was a good twist too. Like for me, like I thought it was just generally about information and government and whatnot, but they went layers deep about how corporations tend to even co-opt certain things for capitalism. They had good reasons, like mining resources that could provide jobs and et cetera, et cetera. But I was surprised that they were able to squeeze in so many layers on
even
top of this.
even the layer
story,
of the black hood and bringing them off the grid. It wasn't really off the grid. They just scared them a little bit and let them go because nobody cares about them.
Nobody
even,
cares.
Even they knew that even if I let this girl go and she screams, she's just gonna fuck herself. It's not gonna mess us up. Like so yeah, it's just really triggering to me. So it's not for the faint of heart, especially when you know that basically and we're all fucked. So yeah.
How about you, RJ?
I enjoyed it though. It's a great movie. I enjoyed it.
It
and
is a
how-
great movie.
on how annoyingly true it is.
Mhm.
Our government leaders, no matter which country, I would say, they're all tempted by capitalism. They're all tempted by money, by power, and everyone in the cabinet is the same. Even the guy who was in CSI, the general, Paul Guilfoyle.
Yeah.
What a jackass!
That was
Jennifer-
I still don't I love that thought. Even at the end of the movie, she's still like,
Why would
he's
you
a
why would he
purple heart,
charge?
he's a general. Why would you charge for
Why?
free stuff? It's like, why
Well,
would you?
Yeah,
Why would
exactly. All the way until the end of the movie. She's like, one thing I still don't get. And I was like, oh, maybe it's about the comet. Why would he, as a general, charge us for free snacks? She's so triggered by it. And the guy that they were with, the other ex NASA scientist, what's the name of the actor? Rob Morgan, Dr. Oglethorpe,
you?
was saying, I swear, we were in the room and he farted right in front of me.
And he pulled it off.
Sting.
Thing.
Sting.
It's just yes, there are people like that. You may be powerful, you're a general of the United States, you're definitely paid well, and you'd still steal from people. That's corruption. President and her son, who is apparently she's preparing him to be next in line, maybe being the chief of staff, right? They just don't care about the important things. They care about their likes, how they're supported, but not the real world matters. I agree with Chubax. It's triggering because you know that this is true.
I mean, just
And
the
here
fact,
you have a couple of
the fact of the third act where they're campaigning. Don't look up. What the fuck, man? The evidence that can be. I know they said it is about climate change. Also, the vaccine. The evidence is there, but they just refuse to look at it. Like
Mhm.
I have
and they'll create
doctors. I have
conspiracies.
relative doctors in America who are not vaccinated because some of them think that it's a way of mind control or it. What? It's like Don't Look Up, and then it's so funny at the end where the guy looks up and said, "You fucking lied to us."
It's
What the fuck?
literally just like it's right there.
But the stupid thing is,
It's
it's
right there.
been there for a few, right, for a few days, at least a few weeks now, and
There was a total 6 months of that, right?
I'd be, I'd be happy that they got their comeuppance if it just did bring the whole world with them. You know what I mean? But
But another thing that's true in this that was highlighted by this movie, this 2 hour satire, was the evidence of cancel culture. Meaning
Oh yeah.
they didn't like Jennifer Lawrence, so they made her a meme. They discredited her socially, so no one would take what she says. And then they turned Leo into a sexy astronomist.
Yep.
So they may not care about what he says, but they'll care about what he looks like. That's why he was improving the way
Or
he
he only
dresses.
people only listen to him because he is portrayed as something to be desirable. And that's
I
that's
guess.
the that's for me that's the more troubling part because
Mhm.
again I love this movie
Mm.
because it tells you both sides of everything. Like I
That's
understand,
true.
like if it's going to be an extinction level event, what benefit will that help people if you don't have a solution, right? Right,
Mm.
and you can't just like make I understand that they have to confirm. Like I understand the biases between like, oh, you're from Michigan. Now let us talk about two scientists in Harvard for this, right? I understand all of
Mm.
those. Like they're they it might be comedic what the US government portrays. It's like, oh, we're not going to break this news because it's going to harm me in the polls. And conversely, oh, we're going to break this news because it will help me in the polls, right? So, but in the end, it's like we do it every day. We kind of repudiate certain things. We choose to believe in certain things, and forget or ignore certain things that will help us out. So for me, like every single aspect of this movie, down to like I understand why Leo. Spoiler alert! If you guys want, cool smaller details, just press fast forward one time. So skip 15 seconds. But when he cheated on his wife, like will you, of course, like world's going to end. One of the hottest personalities in the world likes me because of me, not about the hot looks. It's just like his calm demeanor and smart. So it gives all of the angles where like, right, it's not the sex symbol that people the sex symbolism of people is not about just physical stuff. It's also about smarts and what you make people feel. So this was like it hit every single aspect of the thing. Like, I mean, I also like the Karening of the world. Like
Mm.
they made Jennifer Lawrence into a Karen. So even if she was right too. So like every single thing is like, maybe the only character here that did not have a second side was like Jonah Hill because he's just an asshole all throughout. He has just like that's it. Everybody had like good and bad sides, so that kind of like
But he had so much faith on his mom till the very end.
because he's a dum dum. He doesn't know anything. He's just like wants to stay in power. Wants to have like very expensive man purses and
watches.
you know and watches, like So I love this movie. I was thinking about it. Like what was the use of having so many A-list celebrities in this particular movie? Like this is just a lot of talk too, right? And then I realized they had to have a Leonardo DiCaprio to make this movie work. They had to have a Meryl Streep. Like imagine Meryl Streep is playing Trump in this movie. Like
Yes.
any lesser actor would have been, oof, that's a touchy character to play. I don't want to risk alienating half of my audience, but not Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep is the GOAT. whatever she plays, everybody will love her in. So that was
That's
great.
true.
And Leo too. Like, I mean, Jennifer Lawrence, I liked her, but she was like again, down to Tyler Perry to Kate Blanchett, like the news pundits, everybody was just like knock out. Like
Mm.
because you only had so much space in that movie to really kill it. So it was understandable that, all right, yeah, this movie needed to have multiple A-list celebrities in them. I mean, I thought like this is overkill. I sometimes, all-star casts like these are scary because they might not try as hard, but this one it was wonderful. I totally enjoyed this movie. But again, also I understand it because it's true. It's a documentary.
I hope it helps
Um
change.
I hope
I
so
like
too.
Adam. Yeah, I like Adam McKay because he The Big Short is one of the movies that kind of turned me onto his work. Vice is a highly American movie because it's about um uh former Vice President McCain. So
Mm-hmm.
it's I saw it on a plane, but I really enjoyed it as well. But I like the idea that he packages very, very serious, very, very real information in a light manner. Like I'm distraught, but at least I was laughing while I was being distraught. I was like, oh shit. It's 98.7% true and people still don't believe it. It's like, fuck, like what the fuck? It's like it's the best. I enjoy this movie, but um as we close off the episode, let's give people advice how to watch this episode. So Chubax, how would you advise people to watch Don't Look Up? And for me, so like you can extend it to all of the other Adam McKay movies like The Big Short and Vice. How would you, if somebody was like, hey, I heard this was cool, when and how should I watch this?
Yeah, buy some food and then sit your butt down and watch it. And I hope you learn from it. We all need to learn from it, including me. I need to learn from it because, my God, the human race is fucked. That's all I
We
can
are.
say. RJ.
How about you, Jay?
I found it enjoyable. I didn't have food with me, but it was hard hitting because it's true.
Mm.
This is absolutely close to happening, if not already happening, and we're just being kept in the dark. This is how dangerous people in power are. And even though you're one of the good guys and you feel that you have this undying sense of justice, if you're gonna watch this, let that go first.
Mm,
Don't keep that undying sense of justice with you because you're
exactly.
gonna get annoyed. You're gonna get pissed. Because,
Mm.
let it go. It's a movie, and
I
Chuax
think
is right.
I
Hope
should have
everyone
said
learns
that,
from it.
but I couldn't let go of my.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, on
about
my end again, you have to be in a very open mindset in watching
Mm.
satires in general. Like again, the idea of these movies, it provides you with all of the angles, like or multiple angles, multiple sides of the stories, and you have to listen to, again, you can't like the analog for the Trump supporters or the Antifa
Ron
people, right?
Perlman.
Ron Ron Perlman's
Ron Perlman
uh
played
uh
an excellent Trump
pilot,
supporter.
right? Oh my god, that was the best. Like you have to look at the other side and saying why do they think this way? Why were they influenced this way? And that's the only way that you can um influence yourself and other people to think otherwise. Because like if you think that your side is always correct, that's a losing game. Like we even as scientific or as clear-headed as we are, there are still certain things that we might be inherently biased against. And I love watching these movies. But again, this is a movie that you need to watch when you're well rested, when you're calm, you want to learn. It is a thinker. It is a movie that you can't be like be on your phone while watching it. You have to sit through all of this movie. I think this is one of those movies that you watch alone rather than with a friend or with
Correct.
friends and family. I don't think this is, or at least if you are a group of friends with like this, like if we saw this and we were watching this to discuss the movie, then that would be a good part. But again, I also remember it's like if I was watching this on a date, I'd probably be pissed
Arguing
off.
with your date.
Yeah, and
No.
that's not a sexy conversation. Like, can you believe capitalism or whatever? That's not a good date conversation. This is one of those like watch it, absorb it, and enjoy it. Um, but yeah, it's on Netflix. Let's close the episode out with our rating for Don't Look Up. Jay, what would you rate Don't Look Up out of a 10?
I would say with all the actors, the acting, and how scarily true it actually be, I'd say it's an 8 to 8.5 for me.
Chubax?
I go 9.5. I'm just really triggered, so I'm not thinking straight.
PW,
I
trigger
can't
warning, trigger
I
warning.
can't explain everything. Say what you guys said how to watch it. I agree. I'm not thinking correctly with this. Just too.
A lot of talky. That's the
Mm,
problem with movies like this. But again, this is one of those where, oh my god, I keep forgetting why Leo is, you know,
an
revered.
excellent actor.
Yeah, I keep forgetting. It's like I never got it.
He's awesome.
Oh
I
no,
never found.
for me, I didn't like him for a while. He
Mhm.
turned me around. He did it.
Yeah,
'Cause I didn't like
no,
him because he did like Departed, and it was like got all these Academy Awards, and
mhm.
nobody even mentioned Infernal Affairs, which did it for the original one, which is
Mhm.
more amazing. And then he stole me with first I think was Shutter Island, and then
Mm.
was that Inception? Was that Inception after that?
Inception.
Because some of those movies were just
Yeah,
he's good. I give
no,
up. He's my Tom Brady. You know
yeah,
where
exactly, exactly. And
my
that was
first
my analog.
my first few
Like,
years was like I hate this guy so much because I was a Peyton Manning fan, but after a while I just can't deny the greatness, bro.
yeah, he's the guy. I
Yes,
mean,
you cannot.
I was watching because I always thought that there are actors that act like the Willem Dafoes, right? The
Yes.
right? And then there's actors that just maximize their character. Like this is me, just gonna tweak it a little bit for this particular character. And I never really saw the greatness of Leonardo DiCaprio. Like even in Inception, like it's an ensemble cast. That's why it might be good. But this one is like he carried this movie. Like it was great. Like I was like, wow, like you are really, really. I love the anxiety ridden. I like the
Shots.
sometimes calm, sometimes not. Sometimes aggressive. Like it was like, all right, it's believable. It looked. You seem like what's his name? You are Doctor Randall. You're not Leonardo DiCaprio. You're Randall Mindy, right? So it's like I really, really enjoyed that. All right, with that. Ooh, that we come to the end of our episode. Just programming reminders. We have this review podcast coming out on Tuesdays, noon Philippine time. Our D&D podcast comes out Wednesdays, or most Wednesdays, noon Philippine time. And our Reacts podcast comes out Thursdays, noon Philippine time. Excuse me. Woo. Yeah, we are in YouTube. Just search +63HP, or if you want to launch us directly from your browser, bit.ly/+63HP. We are on Twitter and Instagram at +63HP, and we are in your favorite podcasting application of choice. Just search +63HP. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share our channel to your friends who wants to discuss all the fun content stuff, watch movies with us, watch trailers with us, or just make fun of our first D&D campaign as middle-aged old men. That's also fun. Next week, we will continue discussing Boba Fett, so episode 2, as well as a couple of more episodes, the middle episodes of The Witcher. We're going to do 4 to
Whew.
6. Again, we'll concentrate on those little mid parts of the episode. Final goodbyes. Oh,
Do you guys wanna try Super Crooks? It's out on the
Oh yeah, I
what
saw
is
that.
Super
The
Crow?
cartoons.
yeah, the one based on
It's
Mark Miller
yeah,
animated.
Is it? Is
anime.
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, we
It's
can try it. Yeah,
only 13 episodes,
yeah,
and it's
we'll
like
watch
20
it.
episodes.
Let's do like the first three or something.
Yeah,
Or if you want the Silent
we'll,
Sea.
Oh yeah, we can do that too.
well, yeah, we'll put it on the list, and if we can't watch it, or we might assign a person to discuss, right?
So maybe
Okay.
But
All right.
yeah, but also like we'll Mark Millar like sold all of his IP to Netflix. That's why there's so many things that Netflix is doing about his work. So that's interesting. Cool. Final goodbyes, RJ.
I enjoyed watching Witcher, Don't Look Up, and the Book of Boba Fett was still something that will, I think, grow on me. Um, thank you guys, and Happy New Year. How about you,
Chubax?
Chubax?
Daddy says Happy New Year, and I hope you have a good year,
Who?
2022. And I hope somebody says Daddy on the comments. It will happen.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us in this episode. Happy New Year. We hope that it is going to be a better one. We have to manifest that. It's going to be a
Yes.
fucking better year. The bar is so low for 2022 that it will be going to be a great year. With that, we will see you in the next episode, and goodbye.
Bye.